All right, here we go. We are recording. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being part of week 4 of our 6 weeks to success. We have been just having a great time. We've had some excellent guest speakers. But you know what, you guys? I am so excited about this week's guest speaker. Her name is Sara. She is part of my mastermind group that I am part of. And it is a dynamic group of ladies. And we are all about, promoting our business and our teams and making sure that we give you guys the best and the greatest ever. And these other people that I'm in this mastermind call with have such great ideas, and I learned so much for them. But just to tell you something about Sara joined Pampered Chef in 1998. She was the mother of 1 at the time and pregnant with her second daughter when she started the business. And even though she had 2 parties already, she was a referral. You referred, okay. So here's the thing that I think is just amazing, that we have so much to learn from her. She has sold over $1.1 million in Pampered Chef products, and she's recruited over 250 peeps. That is amazing. That's awesome. So she's going to talk to us about recruiting. So Sara, take it away.
I am really honored to be here. I was very honored when Wendy invited me to share this with you guys. And I'll just be honest, when I first started, recruiting was not anything I ever thought I wanted to do. And my first couple of recruits, I know Wendy will be like, shut up. But anyway, I'm going to say this. They came to me. My first recruits came to me because, again, like I said, I didn't have any desire to do that at all. And I quickly realized that I should have been listening to my director and listening to what she was teaching me about recruiting, because I saw that there really was a business in recruiting, not just in the sales of products. Anyway, I've learned a lot since then. And just to clarify a little bit, I was a referral. In other words, the consultant asked her friend, who then asked her mom, who then asked me. So they're referral big time. I know that doesn't happen very often where you have that many in betweens, the consultant and the recruiter and the actual consultant. So here I am. So I'd give it a go. And that was 19 years ago when I said I would try this out. And as we shared earlier, I promoted to director in 2004. It was a close one. I have been blessed to maintain that ever since then. And the key has been recruiting. Now, that's the focus of tonight's call, is recruiting. And recruiting is just like sales. You have to be very intentional with that. And we hear all the different things about how we recruit, what we say. Pampered Chef has great one-liners. Have you guys seen the one-liners or the phrases that Pampered Chef has with the products? You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm sure, because if you don't, go find something like cookware is a great one, and find some great phrases as far as what to say when recruiting. Now, how and when, what do I do? What do I say when I am talking about the business opportunity that people have? Of course, at the party, that's my favorite place, of course, to share about the business opportunity. And the natural tie-ins are things like when I'm using products that are part of a kit, whether it's the ultimate kit, it doesn't matter which kit they're part of, but I can be able to talk about those. And of course, the easy line is, and this comes in our new consultant kit. Ask me more later about that, or something fun, or you could get this in our kit and it's only 70%, it's 70% off when you get the whole. You can have all kinds of fun stuff as far as numbers. Anyway, looks like my camera kind of froze up, so hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, you're fine. You're perfect.
Unfroze. Okay, I wanted to make sure. Anyway, I thought I would share a couple of ideas of what I do at parties as far as recruiting games. Now, I don't do very much in games. I keep it really simple because the food is the big entertainment. And of course, keeping in those one-liners all throughout the show. It's about sprinkling. We've got to keep planting seeds because we never know what seeds are going to take. And so if we're not planting seeds, we're not going to get recruit leads. So we have to keep saying the different things, whether it's even things about our life, or, I will share, you could share a story like I have a friend who is working full time and she is using Pampered Chef to be able to get to where she can replace that full-time income. That is what she is working on right now. I have another friend who's a stay-at-home mom, and she is using Pamper Chef to help supplement the income and continue to be able to stay at home. Things like that. I will share other people's stories. So I love to get to know even better people on my team, other consultants. I'm looking forward to national conference coming up. And then I get to hear more stories from people that I could share at my parties. This is awesome stuff. Okay, so a couple of things that I will do at my parties. My number one game that I will do is just quite simply a ticket activity. Now I keep it really simple. While I take the whole roll, I just take off usually 5 to 7 tickets. I'm going to limit the number of tickets that can be asked. There was a time when I would not do that, and I would just keep handing out tickets, and sometimes it was kind of crickets. Like there were no questions being asked. I would just patiently wait. Other times, it seemed like they didn't want to stop, and it just kept going and going and going. So what I found works really well. So I'll just tear off 5 to 7 tickets here. That's often, I'll just simply say, I have 5 tickets. That means only 5 questions tonight. That's right, just 5. 5 tickets, 5 questions. And this is your opportunity to ask me anything about being a consultant, what I do as a consultant, anything along those lines. And let me tell you, they're going to ask you product questions anyway. I mean, they are. Do they ask you product questions, Wendy?
Yeah, they sure do.
And you know what I do? I turn those into a business answer.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I'm like, and to make it talk about the consultant side of that, and I'll answer questions that way too. That way they're still getting a ticket for their question, and I'm still promoting the opportunity to be a consultant. So tickets is one way that I do that. Another way that I have done it in before is if you don't have tickets, but you have a deck of cards. One fell on the floor. Have a deck of cards, take out the spades or the any of the other suits except for the hearts. Okay, so take out one of them. And then what I will do, this is 13 questions, and I will have 3 prizes in this case. We call it stealing hearts. Put the prizes in bags so they can't see the prizes, and they get to ask a question. And of course, I'm specifically looking for questions about the business opportunity. Since it is 13 questions, I will probably take some questions that aren't necessarily business, but I'm going to turn them into business answers because I really want them to know what a huge opportunity this is to work with the Pampered Chef. So they're asking questions. I'm heading out the cards. Okay, going on. And then I've got 3 gifts in bags. You can keep them simple or have fun bags, but you want to have it so that you can't see what the gift is inside, the element of surprise, all right? And then stealing hearts. So then I'm going to take my hearts suit, and I'm going to call out and say, okay, who has the 3? And the person with the 3 is going to pick a bag. Then, okay, who has the ace? And the person with the ace is going to pick a bag. Who has the 2? They're going to pick a bag. That's 3 bags right there. Now you get to start stealing. Who has the king? Who do you want to steal from? Who has the queen, etc. You get the idea. And those are a couple things that I have done. I really like to keep it super duper simple. With the whole main thing is I really just want to share with them information at the party. So those are 2 game ideas. You're going to hear all kinds of ideas. Anybody who's going to conference? How many on here are going to conference? Okay, I know.
Rachel is. Kathy is, although you can't see Kathy's hand, I'm sure it's raised. And, I know that Laura's on the phone, and Donna, is that you on the phone too? I'm not sure. I don't recognize the DMSMI, but I think that's Donna. So
they're muted. So anyway, So it sounds like maybe most of the people on the call are going to conference.
Yeah, we've got about 3 of us, 3 and 3, 3 going, 3 not going.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to encourage you. You may not be the kind of person who normally networks with other consultants, but take this fabulous and amazing opportunity to step out of your comfort zone. Just do it. Let me find, in church service this morning, our minister gave us a phrase that I actually shared with my team of consultants, and that is, fear will not evaporate. It must be evicted. Okay. Now, I mean, this was in the context of a sermon, but when he said that and that was up on the screen, I was like, oh, so I made a graphic really quick. There's my graphic that I made. Isn't that funny?
Nice, nice.
Paper chef picture. And then this is by way using Typorama. So anyway, so evict your fears, because it won't evaporate. It just won't go away. You gotta just like give it get it out of there, and make connections with consultants at conference, because you're going to hear lots of ideas, and some of them are going to resonate really well with you. You may be one who's already doing the ticket activity and asking questions or doing something fun like that, or you may be doing something more creative, and that's fantastic. The whole point is, if you're not asking, you're not going to get. So you've got to be asking, whether it's asking for referrals. Remember, I'm a referral. 2 people in between the consultant and me. Okay. And by the way, also at the parties, besides the ticket activity game, I am also talking about the specials at a glance, because the specials at a glance has the new consultant bonus on there. So I'm referring to that. If you aren't using that, this is available under the marketing imagery where all of the specials are listed. So go there and print that up, and you can be able to promote that at your parties. Of course, our prime recruit is our host. And every single time we're talking with our host, we can be able to ask them. And if they say no, I can still say, just in case you change your mind, remember that you can use part of your free product value as a discount on any one of the kits that you want. So just in case, okay? I know you've been telling me no, and that's fine. I respect that. Or I am so excited if they're still kind of thinking about that, and then we'll talk about how their party could be a party where I'm the consultant for their kickoff party. That's what I do in that aspect, and then they get the bookings from that. But so there are a lot of ways we can go on that one. Let me stop at this point and let me just ask, are there any questions on what I've shared? Because I know I've got a time limit, and I'm getting close to that time limit. So are there any questions at this point on things that I have shared? Anything, Wendy, that you want to ask me about? Or
No, other than when somebody asks you, okay, so you play the ticket game, you have some people who are interested, who seem very, very interested. What do you do at that point?
Okay, that's a good question. So if somebody's interested, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I put in their hands more information to take home, if they haven't already gotten that in their hands, because I'm not always remembering to hand out the information like I should. Isn't that horrible?
No, it happens.
Before we do the ticket activity, I should be handing them the Life Tastes Great brochure. That doesn't always happen. So anyway, because I get in the midst of all the excitement of the party, and I love the party, so I get all excited about stuff. Anyway, so I will make sure that they go home with information, and then also before they go home, I'm setting up an appointment with them, whether it be a phone appointment, preferably where we actually get together. I'm coming to their place, they're coming to my place, or we're meeting someplace neutral. Depends on if there are kids involved. And in that case, I try to stay in the home, probably their home, where it's easier for them to manage their kids and give them a little bit more freedom to have fun, do whatever they want to do. So those are the things I do right away with somebody who is interested. If they're not really quite ready to do that, maybe they're feeling like and I'll express too, if they're a maybe and I can get them to meet with me, I will tell them, listen, just because you meet with me doesn't mean we're getting your kit ordered right away. We can, if you choose to do that. It is still your choice. But I just want to make sure that you make a very informed decision, and that you're not later wishing that you had known more and you had said yes and had become part of our team. So I just want to make sure that you know. And like I said, if you decide this is not for you, I respect that. And at some point later, we can connect again, and that might be a better time for you. That's usually how I will address that.
Okay, perfect. So my other question to you is, on the 250 people that you have invited to your team and have joined your team, how many would you say are your hosts, and how many would you say were people percentage-wise? How many do you think were your hosts, and how many do you think were guests at your show?
I would say probably 75% of them were hosts. because they're just a natural one. They've got the excitement. They've been working with me, so they know they have a little bit more idea. And plus, they get the bookings. That helps them with their first several shows to get lined up with having people there. Because I'm there helping them pull out your calendar. Let's get these dates on the calendar so you can get these parties set up. And that way you're good to go. Because I know that the biggest challenge a lot of times to getting started is getting those parties on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So 75% are host.
Again. Exactly. And the reason I say that, you guys, is because our host is our number one person that we should be inviting to this business. Because like Sara says, they already love the product. They're having a party. So, okay. Well, great. Okay. So you set up a time. You're going to meet with them. What happens at the interview?
At the interview,
or the chat. Let's call it a chat.
The chat. I've actually used 2 different methods. Number one, I love the digital interview cards. Do you guys use those? Yeah. Do you guys use them?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys might not know about them. They're not really well publicized anymore.
Oh, they're so good. They're so easy, and you can use them anywhere. If you have, I don't know what kind of mobile device you guys are using, but oh my goodness, get them downloaded onto that so that way you can be able to easily refer to that. They are the easiest thing to use. Bottom line, it comes down to having a discussion. It's about that connecting with the person, and the digital interview cards really make it simple because they guide us through. They kind of give us a script without having all of the words laid out. So I will use that. The other format that I have used before is I've gone straight to my website, to the Be a Consultant page, and I have scrolled down the page to even popped on and watched videos of different testimonies from consultants and asked questions, or asked 4 questions based on what's being seen on that page. So those are the 2 things that I have done for the most part, but really about getting to know the person and finding out what they are wanting most of all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then now it's the end of the chat with the person, and how do you close that interview? How do you close that up? How do you get to the yes or the no?
The question that I ask is, number one, is there more information that you need, or that you have any more questions, or are you ready to go ahead and order a kit?
Mm-hmm.
Started. Are you ready to get started? I like to use that actually the most rather than just order a kit.
Right. Are you ready to get started? Yeah. So that's a very important part there, because you have to ask the question. You can't just leave it hanging. You have to ask the question so it can come out with, yes, I'm ready to get started, or I've got more questions.
Yes, and remember, it's not our job to talk them into doing that, but it is our job to share. It's our job to help them see options, and also to find out what they may be thinking of that are potential reasons in their mind Pampered Chef might not be a good fit. And so sometimes it's about asking enough questions and really listening to what they're saying so that you can springboard questions from that. And again, finding out more to help them.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's been. So what happens when somebody says, you know what, Sara, right now is probably not a good time for me? What do you do then?
I keep it simple. My philosophy is that I will say at that point, you know what, I'm really glad that we got to meet and discuss, take a closer look at this. And I respect that it is not for you at this point. I know that life can change and thoughts can change. And I will tell you what, I know that for me, Pampered Chef has been a really good fit. I didn't think it would be when I started. And you probably heard me say that before, but just know that if you can't help but keep thinking about it, or you find yourself in a time when you really want to look at this again, and it may be sometimes people will, it could be a month, it could be a few years, but as long as you give them that open to come back and connect with you, there are a lot of people who will, because they need to sleep on it. And some people will come back right away. Some people may take a little while because they're afraid. They're afraid of whether or not they can do it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right, so you guys, what questions do you guys have for Sara? There's got to be some questions out there.
You asked my question.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. Good.
Hey, so it's Donna. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yes, we can, Donna.
Okay, good. I'm off of mute.
Yay.
Sarah, I know Wendy and I have been talking about this. I have a possible recruit who always says, I'm interested, I'm interested, I'm interested, but then always when you go to ask them, always have these like 50 excuses. My car broke down, I need to go to the bank, those kinds of things. How often do you continue to follow up with them to see if they're interested?
Personally, my gut often tells me that that person is saying they're interested, but they are so afraid of what they can do, or there may be some behavior things that you may have a gut feeling that also says, I'm going to leave the door open, but I'm also going to give this person permission to not feel like they need to say they're still interested. If all they can come up with are excuses and they cannot come up with reasons why they're interested and what would be the reason they would want to pursue the Pampered Chef as a business opportunity, I'm going to tell them, you know what, this sounds like it's not a good time. And when you are ready and you would like to find out more, discuss more at that point, I'm here to help you. And then, of course, on that note, I may follow up with them periodically and say, hey, I was just recalling back our conversation. I know you've been interested. It hasn't been good timing. And I just wanted to see, I know there were a lot of things that were concerns and it just seemed to be a lot of challenges that were keeping you from really saying yes to the opportunity that you're interested in at that point. And I would just keep that door open, but I wouldn't chase it down.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Makes sense? Yeah. Use, I don't know how long y'all have been consultants, but after a while, your gut feeling kind of tells you. And I never want to close the door for somebody, even though there will be people that I will say, I'm not sure if I really want them on my team, because there are a lot of things that they're going to have to personally work through, and that's fine because I'm here to help out people. I want to inspire and encourage and help people discover something that I've discovered in me. I really honestly never thought that Pampered Chef would become what it has become for me and my family. So I'm a strong believer in the opportunity.
Yep.
And so
Perfect.
it's part of inspiring people. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. What other questions do you guys have? None? Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Kathy has a question. Hey, Sarah, how do you, once you get them interested, what's your training process once they sign the dotted line?
The training process.
Like, how do you train them to get, after they've signed and agreed to be a consultant?
Okay, let's knock Wendy off the call. Just kidding.
Yeah, really.
Is it top secret?
No, I've done different systems before. Pampered Chef has great systems to use. You're still going to find out that really it depends on the person themselves and their availability. My availability is daytime. I can offer all kinds of daytime trains. I am going to take consultants with me to shows as much as possible because that is a great way to double dip on my time. I can be training them while I'm working and earning income at the party. And that is taught quite a bit with Pampered Chef. You'll hear that. You'll hear other consultants talk about that. You've probably heard Wendy talk about that, and she's taking, I'm calling you Wendy.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what it is? It's because you've used a different name before on Zoom.
Yeah, you guys, there are times when I've logged in under a different name. I don't know how to say that. And so everybody's confused about what my name is.
I know. And for whatever reason, my brain just went, am I calling her the right name?
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed if that's not her name.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. Do you see these gray hairs? Okay.
I know. You're fine. I'm actually really me today. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm really me or not today, so we'll go on. No, but I find out what works best for the consultant, and I will try. I connect with them. I'll send them a text the next day, let them know, hey, you're actually the day of your website is live. Let's go ahead and be sharing that out there. Let people know that at least you have a website, whether or not they want to order. Let them know that you have a website they can order from at an outlet. Oh my goodness, make use of this. So. I don't know what kind of training you have done. What have you, as far as as far as recruits, what is your personal experience with recruits?
For me, to
Yes.
train, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we usually do a new consultant training call,
Mhm.
but I just didn't know if you had some tips to stay in contact or systems that you use, like once a week calls, or how you did that. That's what I was.
Right. No. I'm going to tell you right now, there are a lot of great systems. You have to find what works best for you and for your consultant.
Right.
And no matter what kind of a system you use, you will still have people that you talk with that join your team that are going to be challenging to connect with, because the timing always seems off and it drives you crazy because you trying
Yeah.
to, it's going to be that way. So put whatever system for you works best. If I love personal, actually in person is my favorite thing. Of course, that's not exactly a good fit for always what we do. Weekly contact, yes. Facebook group, I have a Facebook group and I use that a lot when working with my team.
Okay.
Probably the biggest, and a new consultant group as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
So those are some ideas.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
All right, you guys, we're winding down on our time. Any one last question for Miss Sarah? No?
No? Where do you get the digital interview cards? Where are those located?
You go on to Consultant Corner, and I want to tell you exactly, do you remember exactly where to go, Wendy?
You know what? No, I was going to look that up and then post it on the 6 weeks on our group page. I'll do that, Sarah. Let me look it up and I'll post it on our group page, and I'll be able to tell you then how to do it. I actually do have it downloaded to my iPad and use it with whatever that PowerPoint is called on iPad, and I can't remember right now what it is. But what's
selling and recruiting? You're going to go into the selling and recruiting tab and go into the recruiting information there.
Yeah, and they actually walk you through how to do it both on an iPad and a tablet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, but I'll post it on the our 6 weeks to success page. Okay.
Super easy to use.
It is, absolutely. Okay, you guys, awesome. Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on and sharing your wisdom with everybody. And I can't wait to give you a big old hug at conference when we all get together. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So anyway, you guys, I will post the homework page or the homework on our page. Also, don't forget that we have the free-for-all. So we've got the 750 level, 1500, 3000, 6000. And we give you total permission to sell the $6,000 level, okay? So feel free to sell at $6,000 if you'd like, all right? And don't forget that we have got our upcoming team fun night and or team time, and that'll be August 8th, and we're gonna do open the box, okay? All right, guys.
Okey-doke.
Yay! And
Thank you.
all so
Yay.
much for being on. So, all right, big wahoo to everybody. Woo-hoo! All right, guys.
Woo.
Bye, guys.
Bye.